Yo, family, so I'm super excited for you all to check out this video here. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is some top secret confidential information, and I started not to even share it with you. I'm gonna be real, but I thought about it and I said, you know what? I want to over deliver to all my artificial intelligent remote rainmakers out there. And thank you for joining my free community. This is a one-on-one training that I did with one of the top millennial business owners in the world today. His name is John Henry. Some of you probably heard of him. He actually sold his first company for millions of dollars at the age of 21. And then he began to grow and get in private equity, venture capitalism. And by the age of 30, he was one of the top influencers on Forbes 30 under 30 list. And he's currently on the 40 under 40 Forbes list. Before he started working in the industry he's currently in now, because he's currently down in Texas, he's the co-founder of an insurance company called Loop. But prior to that, he was building a multi-million dollar real estate portfolio, as well as fundraising, raising money, and not only real estate, but for venture capitalism and private equity. So this guy knows his stuff. So he's doing major things. He's also done a show called Hustle with Vice that was co-produced by the one and only Alicia Keys. This guy's a star, and there's no doubt in my mind that one day he could definitely be a politician and definitely be a billionaire. So keep your eyes on John Henry with what he's doing. Check it out, take good notes, and take massive action on the information.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, John. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
Give me a little bit of background on you. We can jump right in.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm just really interested, man. I'm actually live in Whitehall, PA. So, I'm right around the Allentown area, and I'm very interested in getting started in real estate and multi units. I have some cash saved up. I've been educating and doing some research, but I see that, you're really killing it, and you're very knowledgeable. So I just wanted to, digest as much information as I can. I'm kind of newer to PA. I'm actually from Kentucky originally. I moved here a couple of years ago. And what I do currently is I'm in high ticket sales. So I partner with marketers, influencers, close their programs, seminars, things like that online. I'm actually partnered with a real estate investor in Philadelphia named. I'm fortunate to be able to kind of earn as I learn. With me being in that real estate group, I kind of know the basics. Analyzing deals, how to kind of build, my team. His forte is basically being his own general contractor, and he has like a GC company. So he goes like really in depth on the construction process. Where I'm at, I'm just in the market looking, connecting, with realtors, and going to all the meetups, and just really trying to build relationships for the most part.
Yeah. All right. Well, how much cash do you have saved up, and like how nifty are you trying to get, and are you trying to make this like your full time thing?
Eventually, over the course, for right now, my goal, if I was able to get 1 to 2 properties, I would be cool with that. As far as cash, I got like 1,000 saved up.
Okay, man. Well, I got where you're at. Let me just dig in. I mean, I think it reminds me a lot of like where I was when I started with real estate. Just kind of had an interest. I also was working in a situation where I was exposed to a little bit higher level real estate, and you kind of just get antsy to start. And, you kind of just start with where you feel like you can get in, so to speak. And I ended up stretching a little bit beyond that. That is, I felt like I could only afford like, 2 or 3 fam, trying to buy based on a budget. But then I said, you know what, let me buy based on the deal. Okay, let me find good real estate, especially, I'm in Allentown right now, especially in Allentown. I realized like you can find great deals here for less than the price of a condo in New York, and it can cash flow really well. And if something can cash flow, you can find a way to close the deal. So I personally decided to go out there and, you know, convince some of my friends to jump in with me. And, you know, these are guys who they're not like, and, you know, they're not rich. They're not investors. You know, they work they're well paid, you know, they're well paid employees. And, yeah, one by one, I was kind of able to round it up, and I unlocked the skill of fundraising. Okay. But in order to do that, you know, I had to A, put skin up, you know, put money in the deal, but B, you gotta be, if you're going to be the brokest partner in the deal, you gotta be the smartest partner in the deal. You know what I mean? Like you can't go out there and try and make a deal happen and you don't know your shit. You know, you don't know why, you know what your strategy is, and all this stuff. By the way, the thing that frustrates me a little bit about like beginners is, for whatever reason, they'll just feel like, yeah, I knew this shit going in. It's like, no, dude, I started cold. I mean, I already knew about business, but I didn't know about this business. You know, I started cold, meaning I didn't know anything about cap rates, NOI, how to underwrite a deal, how to pick a market, none of that stuff. Now, in your case, you know, for better or for worse, you don't really have to go out there and find a market because you're in a great one, Lehigh Valley. Mm-hmm. Excellent. I mean, I came from New York to this market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that the con about that is that you can be intellectually lazy about it. You know what I mean? Like the market's good. You live here, great. You know, it's really good when you have to go out there and try and find a market, because it allows you to flex certain chops, right? It allows you to look through markets and comb them and say, okay, well, what's good about this one? What's good about that one? Until you finally choose a market that you sink your teeth into. So, but you know what? We'll set that aside. You can decide that when you're on your next market. For now, let's just take it as a blessing that you happen to be in a great market. And then from there, you know, I don't know how, you know, I guess serious or intensely you want to go about this, but I made it like I couldn't sleep thinking about this stuff, man. Like I wanted to know this shit cold. And there are a lot of real estate developers that, you know, and real estate investors and stuff like that, yeah, I just wanted to know what they knew. And I saw them and I was like, I just don't think that they're that they're smarter than me. Not that I thought I was smarter, but I figured, you know what, at least we're about the same level of smarts. Like, I don't think this thing is that hard, you know, with respect to like knowing your shit. So then it came down to time. Okay, well, John, we'll prove it to you. So I just started underwriting deals. I went to biggerpockets.com, you know, because I Googled like, you know, getting started with, and I bought free beginner real estate book. I struggled with the terms. I memorized the formulas. I made little note cards and taught myself the formulas. And then I would, using a little deal template, you know, a little like a deal analysis template, which is like just a little spreadsheet where you can pop in the numbers, you know, income, expenses, and it'll give you like the cash on cash return. Mm-hmm. I just started crunching deals. I crunched one deal and I was like, okay, well, I don't know if that's a good deal or a bad deal. And you won't know until you have like, you know, until you crunch a second one and a third one and a 10th and a 21st and then a 34th. And then you get to the point when, after you crunch enough deals that are just out there on the market, on the MLS or on LoopNet, then you start getting a better sense for the market, because seeing deals. And you get to the point where you're like, oh, okay, yeah. I know that, you know, because I've crunched 20 deals, now I know that 12% cash on cash is a good return. Now I know that X, Y, Z, you know. And all in the meanwhile, I was getting my credit right. I was learning deals. And then finally I got to the point where I just felt like I knew my shit cold. There was nothing anyone could tell me about the deal. You know what I mean? Yeah. People would say, well, you know, why do you want to pick this market? Well, boom, boom, boom. Well, why this deal? Boom, boom, boom. You know, like, you just got to get to the point where you know your shit cold. And one powerful thing that I realized is knowing about a deal and knowing it in and out is just as valuable as having the money to do the deal. Because when you have the knowledge about the deal and you know in and out, you know your market, and you know you're just really confident about the deal, the money will find you. And I don't mean to sound that in like some esoteric way, because I know it sounds like difficult to I guess like take that in when you're getting started, because you're like, oh well, cut me a fucking break, you know. But the reality is when you are pounding pavement and you know a deal cold and you have a little bit of skin in the game and you're putting 1,000 up and you're speaking to a ton of people about the deal, and you know, you're getting people excited about the deal, you will find money, guaranteed. There's a lot of people right now with idle money, and you know, the stock markets are fluctuating violently, and people don't want to be in the markets. They want to be in something illiquid that cash flows, and that's where real estate comes. So that's how I got started. Just generally, I think that you're in a good space between what your primary job is now, the market that you found, and also, you know, the some of the know-how that you built up. You know, you're there, you're ready. It's just a matter of you know, really deciding that you want to go for it, and then becoming that dude that knows everything about, you know, real estate in your respective market.
For you, coming from like New York to Allentown, did you already have like previously relationships kind of built here?
No, I was cold, man. Everything cold. For instance, you know, I went on loopnet.com and I realized that the listing agent behind the property is more important than the property that's being listed. Because I befriended the agents, and once I spoke to them, as I said, knowing my shit, and once I spoke to them and they knew that I knew, they would then say, you know what, I got a few deals, and I got a couple of deals tucked away for you. You know what I mean? So they actually, a lot of brokers withhold deals. They don't put them on the market, and they reserve them only for series buyers. So if I were you, I would be looking on LoopNet and finding the types of deals that you want, and go ahead and call a broker and speak to them about it, because that broker will have other deals that they have access to. I have a single family right now under contract. I'm going to buy it. You know, I got it for $70K. And I'm going to sell it for $130. It'll be my first time trying something like this, you know, but I'm just doing it as a look, the market is there. I'm not going to I'm not going to shit on it just because it's not my thing. Sure. The market is there. Yeah. You know, it's, and Allentown and Whitehall and whatever, like these markets the market is there for people to do single family. I would say even more so than multifamily, because there's a higher volume of deals. But you know, for me, I don't necessarily consider that investing. I consider that like sales. You know, it's transactional. You buy and you sell, or you buy and you hold. And you know, the valuation method for single family is based on comps. It's based on comparables. It's not based on the NOI. So that to me is always going to be not investing. However, you know, it's a good way to build. You know, I'm going to buy that home for 70. I'll sell it. I'm buying it for 78. Okay, let me not paint super rosy picture. I'm buying it for 78. I'm putting 15 into it. So I'm putting the plan was 10, but call it 15 for contingency. So all in, I'm in for 93, and then I'm selling for 130 after my fees. I'll probably net about 20K in like 6 to 9 months. Not all the money in the world, but you know, I'm doing it because I want to get my family into this. So I'm doing it more for them than for me. But that's just to give you a sense, you know. But my multifamily deal, I bought one for 300. We put 150 into it. So and that was borrowed by the hard money lender, by the way. So we bought it for 300. He put up 220. The lender put up 225. So we only had to come up with 75K. So I put up 25, and then I found two friends who each put up 25. So 75 to buy it. They loaned us 100K to make the repairs. So all in with the 300. All in, and then plus the 100K to do the repairs. We're all in for 400. That building's appraising at 715. We're refinancing literally tomorrow. We're pulling out 200 and change. So we'll pull out the 75 that we put in, and we'll net 125 that we'll split 3 ways. So we got all our money back. We profited then on top of that, and now we're using that same equity and rolling it into another deal. So the money's there, man, to be made. The money is there, my friend. You know, it's just like, let's go get it, because it's there to be got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the only way. You gotta produce content where you're just sharing about what you know or about what you're curious to know.
Curious.
You know what I mean? You like, that's where people I think go wrong, because they're trying to like be a guru on something if they're not a guru on something. I think, you know, you can just share like, hey, I'm looking to get into this. Like, I want to know everything there is to know about, you know, Allentown real estate. You know, and you speak to everyone in Allentown about it, and you record everything and blah, blah, blah. And like, you can become known by just being a dude who, you know, goes fucking hard at this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I would just get busy. You definitely have enough cash to buy a deal. It just depends on how you want to do it. If you want to buy it alone, then you're only going to be able to buy, you know, a smaller deal.
Right.
If you want to do it together, or if you want to pool your money together. So I was going to take 25 and buy outright. I was going to buy a 3-family outright. And then I decided, you know what, let me ditch this and let me put my 25K into the deal and round up a few other people at 25K. And I bought, you know, a $600,000 asset. That asset right now is appraised for 1.2 million. You're not going to get that kind of appreciation on small deals. So that's just what I decided to do, you know, but that doesn't mean that, that's the only way. That's just a way that I chose. You know, I just want to, I want you to be encouraged, man. There's money to be made here, man. I know it's like overwhelming. It sounds like a lot when you're getting in.
Yeah.
But then these figures start sounding real normal. And then, you know, once you start making a little bit of the cash, 20K, 30K, 50K, you know, and then you use it, you know, even if you break even on the first deal, you're like, fuck, but then you cash flow a little bit, and then you can use that same deal to finance another one, and then all that one you net 30, and then, you know, then you just kind of go grown, man. Before you know it, I had dinner yesterday with one of the bigger landlords in Allentown. He's 33 years old. He's got 400 units.
Yeah.
And you know, he does real well, man. And, you know, I know that that's there for both of us, but we just got to play. We just got to be in the game, you know? So hit me up anytime, man. You know, this one was short, but I'm here, I'm available, and, you know, I don't even want it to be transactional.
Yeah.
And I can be a resource for you